Morning is a neo soul instrumental mix vibe. We have a phenomenal guest for our show today. Enjoy the vibes until we get started. Two-minute countdown, 1 minute countdown. Good morning to the leader in you. Listen, today's gonna be phenomenal. I hope everybody has had a great week so far. We're only on day number 2, but listen, we are gearing up for the best week, the best closure of the month. We got a couple more weeks, and we're about to do this. Listen, guys, we about to kick this off. About to kick this off.
Come on in here.
Yes,
Good
y'all.
morning, good morning.
Yes, y'all. We getting situated. This is about to be live. This is about to be live. We have so much we're gonna be talking about on today. We got the 30-second countdown, y'all. Yes, the 30-second countdown.
Feeling the vibe,
Feeling the vibe, feeling the vibe. I know that's right.
I like that baby. Feeling the vibe.
Feeling the vibe, feeling the vibe.
Oh.
Soul, baby.
Good morning, people. Good morning. It is 9:30. Y'all know what that means. We're about to kick off Good Morning to the Leader in You. We are joined with phenomenal guests on today. We're joined with our phenomenal co-host on today. So get ready, settle in, pull out your pen, paper, whatever you need to do, because today's show is going to be impactful. It's going to be inspiring. It's going to be motivating you and I to level up, right? And to go to that next level in our life, that next level in our business, that next level in our community. Why do we say good morning to the leader in you? Because we're going to wake some things up that's on the inside of you, that today is going to be the best day of your life. This week is going to be the best week of your life. I hope you're excited. I hope you're ready. Leroy, are you ready?
I'm ready.
You ready?
You got me hyped.
Leroy, ready?
You got me hyped.
Come on now, let's get ready.
Listen.
If you ain't ready, you better get
If you
ready.
ain't ready, you better get ready. Listen, this is Good Morning to the Leader in You, where we bring you motivation, but we also bring you tips and tools on how to build that business.
Right.
And you know, the perfect person that we had to be a part of today's show is Miss Glenna. Listen, she has a phenomenal boutique. I've been there. I don't know if you've been there, but it's in the Columbia area. And Shimmy's sister is making a difference in the community, in women's lives, shifting and transforming into the queens that we truly are.
Yeah.
But listen, I know she's making an impact not only in the queens' lives, but in the whole community at large in business. So whether you're male or you're female watching or whomever that's watching on today, get ready for the jewels that she is about to drop. Leroy, can you take it away and kind of just, kick off the conversation with our guest on today as I wind down the music?
Good morning, good people. It's your boy, Dr. Leroy McKenzie Jr. Y'all know how we do. It's good morning to the leader in you. And today is going to be no different than any other day that we bring y'all. We about to level up. We're about to feel the vibes. We're going to be feeling the vibes all this morning. We're going to get y'all going. We know. Y'all hope y'all got y'all tea, because I don't drink coffee, so I ain't going to say coffee. But hope you got your tea and that you're ready, because this young lady right here next to me is about to drop some real tea on you, up on you this morning. She going to give it to you. We're going to talk some good stuff about leadership. We're going to talk about entrepreneurship, because that's what we do. That's what we do around here, because we want everybody who has a desire, who has a dream, who has a vision to be the leader, to be an entrepreneur, to be a business owner, all of those things. We want to equip you with the tools that you need in order to be able to be successful, because it's not just about starting a business.
Right.
It's about keeping those doors open.
Mm-hmm.
That has been my passion since I started it, because I found you can find the information on how to start a business everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
It's called Google University.
But the one thing that I found that I could not find was how to keep those doors.
There you go.
How to keep the doors open. They ain't tell me how to keep the doors open. They said we can keep the doors open for you, but they didn't equip me to be able to keep the doors open. That was something that I had to work on myself and discover myself. So I know you're going to talk a little bit about that and all of those things. So I'm gonna let her introduce herself, and tell us a little bit about who she is, and then we're gonna get into this great conversation.
All right. Good morning to our amazing host and hostess over here. I am delighted to be here to join you guys this morning. My name is Glenna Cush, and I am the owner of the Boutique by Shimmy Sister in Columbia, Maryland. I'm also a consultant. I'm also a mentor. I also have a variety of different community activities that I'm involved with. So you got to keep it moving. You got to keep everything together, and you have to make sure that you're giving back. You're taking in, but you're also giving back. It's not just about what you can get, it's also about what you give, because in giving, you also get, right? So I have 2 locations for my boutique in Columbia, and I just opened a second store. So I opened a second location of my boutique, and then I opened another concept altogether. So I have 2 separate businesses that I run in addition to the consulting and the other things that I do.
That is totally awesome. Now, my question for you, can you tell us a little bit about the boutique? What type of boutique?
Sure.
What type of boutique?
Sure. Well, that's kind of an interesting question because, and I was thinking about that on the way in. I have a boutique, and on paper, it specializes in clothing and accessories for curvy women. But when I conceptualized the boutique, I always wanted it to be more. I didn't just want it to be a place where you can come in and get some cute clothes, because life is not just about what's on the outside, right? So I always wanted it to be sort of a hub where women can come in, even if you don't buy something, just come in, feel the energy, have somebody else to chit chat with. A lot of times a shopping session turns into a consulting session, turns into a counseling session, turns into a number of different things. So I created this location where we have clothing and accessories, all that kind of great stuff for curvy women, but we also do events. We do, coming up in a couple of weeks, we got wine and waist beads coming up. You can come and learn the tradition of African waist beads. We've had our sister over here with When Queens Meet. They came in and had their holiday event at the shop. A couple of weeks, we're going to have a meet and greet for women in business to come learn about resources and accessories available. So it's not just a place to get clothes, because that's a nice thing, but we got to round it out. We got to make it something that's meaningful for everybody in every aspect of people's lives.
Oh, and I love that. I love that. Now, I'm gonna ask you this: what got you started in being an entrepreneur, and then what made you decide to do a boutique?
Well, I consider myself a lifetime entrepreneur. Okay. I've always been involved in something. Excuse me. So there's always been something in the back of my head, an idea that I wanted to pursue. So several years ago, I decided I wanted to get into a new fitness routine, something different. So I decided to take up belly dancing, and I loved it. It transformed me. It made me feel sexy. It made me feel beautiful. It made me feel all those things. But then it came time to do a recital, and the instructor was like, well, everybody just wear something different. Okay, I'm a plus size girl. What am I wearing? All the other girls in the class had these cute little 2-piece outfits on, and I'm like, uh-oh. And I really thought maybe I just won't do it. Because in life, if you don't feel comfortable about how you look, you might not participate. So I heard about this event going on called Belly Dances of Color. And I said, okay, I'm gonna go to their conference, and they're gonna have vendors. I'm gonna get something to wear to this recital. I went and I walked around with my money in my hand, and it was not one thing I could buy. They had the cute little, jingly scarves and all that. So I said, this is crazy. But as I looked around, other lady was plus size. This lady had hips. This lady had voluminous, chest. I was like, okay, they walking around, they don't have any bags either. So that was my first idea. I said, well, if people have discovered this beautiful art form and then they can't participate because they don't have anything to wear, this doesn't make any sense to me. So the idea for Shimmy Sister was born at that time. So I started, I sourced and I found places that sold plus size belly dance. A wonderful woman up in New York who manufactured. She said, oh yeah, I'll make some plus sizes for you. And then the race was on. So I did that for several years. And then I decided I wanted to open a brick and mortar. But I knew I couldn't just have a brick and mortar with just belly dance clothing. I mean, that's cute, but rent got to be paid. So I expanded at that point. That's why the name Shimmy Sister still exists, because people know me as that. But the store offers a wider variety of things. And as I said, want to make it a community hub. You learn something new, you try something different. A lot of my customers that come in are in the second part of their life. So their kids are grown and gone. Their husband is off doing something else. And do you even know your husband? Because you've been doing all these other things. And so they're like, okay, what do I do now? My children are gone. How do I get into anything? Some of them are divorced. You didn't want to get into the dating world, all kinds of stuff. So I made the shop a place where people can just come in and feel comfortable and get experience a variety of things at any time. So.
Wow, that and I love that you were so observant, just going to a particular event, because one thing about entrepreneurs.
Yes,
We think differently.
Yes, we do. You know, everything is like, okay, how can I monetize that? What can I do? How can I help somebody else?
Our brains are just always on when it comes to things, I think we're a little more observant.
Absolutely.
Because we're always looking how we can fill a need or what is it that, like you said, you went to you were like, let me go check this place out.
Right.
And then not only did you say that there wasn't anything there for you, you started looking at other people and said, wait, hold on. They don't have anything.
Because when I heard belly dancers of color, I was like, okay, it's gonna be us up in there. And we have hips and we have curves. So surely I will find something, not a thing. I bought a pair of earrings and maybe a body scrub or something. But I couldn't find anything that I could wear. And I almost didn't participate in the event, in the showcase that we were gonna be in. Yeah. So I was able to do that and so forth. But I think, like you said, as entrepreneurs, we think a little bit differently. You have to be able to pivot as well. Yeah. We had I'm going to say we had a pandemic. We're still in something. I'm not sure what it is exactly, but you got to figure out other ways to make stuff happen. I was in my store the day when the governor said, you got to shut down tonight. Wow. Shut down at 8 o'clock tonight and you will be closed until like at least 4 months. So I was like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? How am I going to still keep revenue coming in? Right. I quickly pivoted. I said, okay, I'm going online. I started doing a live show. I called it the Shimmy Shopping Network. You know how you have the Home Shopping Network, QVC, I love the Shimmy Shopping Network. Every Thursday night, 7 o'clock, I will be on there with my products. Good evening. This is right. Tonight we have beautiful water available for you. I got on there and I was selling my stuff and I was making revenue in a different way. You've got to be flexible as an entrepreneur. That's one thing that I would definitely say.
Yeah, now talk about that. Now, how important is it for entrepreneurs to be able to like you said, pivot, shift, especially when it comes to their products and services? I think everybody had to pivot or shift with the pandemic because it affected everybody. Everybody wasn't able to be in what my old dean called it, be in front of the bell curve. Because he called it a bell curve. You had some people that were in front of the bell curve, some that were on top of the bell curve, and some that were behind the bell curve and weren't able to sustain themselves.
And some people couldn't even spell
like you said,
bell curve.
But like you said, the governor one day was just like, we have to shut down. What do I do? And there were some that weren't ready for that. There were some that were ready for it because, there were some people that were already online. They might have been already online doing some of the things that we're doing, that we do now that have become kind of like a hybrid and all of those things. How important is it for you as an entrepreneur to be thinking ahead?
It's critical. You have got to be on top of the trends, not just what's happening now, but what's happening next. Right? In any industry that you're in, there's always innovations coming out. Learn to use those things. I have a lot of people who are afraid. Some of my clients are afraid of, I don't really know technology, but guess what? And such a huge opportunity and more millionaires were made during the pandemic than almost any other time in history, because those who were ready to say, I'm getting ready to do something. I got to get online, because that's where everybody went. YouTube had certain statistics and they said by the year, whatever, we're going to have this many viewers. They doubled that. Just last year and the year before, just last year alone, they doubled that amount. So those who are ready to just say, and you have to be able to not allow your fear to stop you. I have a saying that I tell people, I say, leap and the net will appear. You got to put it out there. You got to, trust your gut, especially as women. We've got amazing intuition. You walk in the room and you're like, something ain't right up there. You don't know what it is just yet. But you be looking around and say, okay, something is not feeling good. Let me just adjust and see how I can maneuver around this room. So yes, it's absolutely critical that you have to be mindful of what's going on. And also, don't try to do it alone. You can collaborate with other people. You can create a network where you could come together. I mean, I was able to do my show every Thursday night because I had a number of products I could, showcase. But if you're a smaller business and you don't have enough, you can still do that because you say, okay, you take the first 10 minutes, I'll take 10 minutes, you sell for 10 minutes, and then we round out a show with a number of products. So you have to be willing to think outside the box. I know that's a trite saying, but it's true. Be willing to do something different. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Kathy, did you?
Listen, everything that I'm hearing, the one thing that's coming to my mind is shift. And that's what I'm hearing you talk about. When the pandemic happened, you shifted. And when you shifted, that kept your business thrive. And I think that's the thing, us as leaders, we have to always be ready to shift at any given moment, whether it be for our business, maybe we have nonprofit organizations, for our families, for our communities. What do we do when we're not ready for the shift? It's something that came to my mind, because sometimes we're not prepared for the shift. And some will say, well, how do I continue to move forward if I'm not prepared? Sometimes you only get prepared. You talked about the net. Sometimes you're only going to get prepared if you cast the net. And sometimes you may not know what the outcome will be. Exactly. But one of the things that I learned for myself as a business owner and as an entrepreneur, it wasn't until I took the first step, when I took action, right? Action is the only thing that's going to cause your business to grow. Sometimes we sit on the side of safety, and when we sit on the side of safety, our business can't grow. One of the things that I keep in the forefront of my mind is to keep moving forward. And that's what I hear you saying, Glenna. Glenna is saying this morning, keep moving forward no matter what. And so, Glenna, I would just say to you, when you were in different phases of your business of evolution, growing, how did you know when it was time to shift and not get stuck in a rut?
Well, because you have to watch what's going on. You can't wait until something happens before you say, oh, what am I going to do? You need to see that things are coming down the pipe. But you also, and this is something I tell people all the time, you also, when you ask for something, don't expect it to be presented to you in a specific way. So we're waiting for this, it's going to look like this. Can you say that again? When you ask for an answer, you ask for something, don't expect it to look in a particular way. It may look something different. Because I'll tell you a perfect example of that. I had an opportunity to open my second store. I have some customers down in the Southern Maryland area, and people, oh, you should. And I was like, I don't know, but because of the pandemic, I had a lot of extra inventory. So I just put it out there. I said, I got to figure out what to do with this inventory. I don't know what that's going to look like. All of a sudden, literally, like something fell out of the sky, an opportunity opened up. There was a marketplace in Southern Maryland called Shepherd's Oldfield Market. And someone mentioned it to me. And she said, you should come down. It's a lovely marketplace. I'll treat you to the ice cream. And I said, okay, let me just go down there. I walked around in there and I was like, this is the perfect spot for me to have a second location. Within 2 weeks, I had my fixtures up. I had my clothing hanging up there. It was done. That was the answer I was looking for. But if I had said, well, no, I don't know. This is so far. How am I going to do it? I didn't let that stop me. I said, it's going to work itself out. And item after item fell in place. It just fell in place for me to be able to do that. But I was willing to take the chance and take the shot. Because I was like, well, okay, the woman who was running the place said, well, if it doesn't really work out, you can just in a month or whatever, we'll see. Okay, that was not a huge risk. So I took it. And it has been going gangbusters ever since. I'm so thankful that I did that. And it just came out of nowhere. But I was willing to say, well, okay, this is what's dropped in front of me. Let me do it. Let me try it.
Yeah.
And I want to speak to something else that you mentioned before about making space and shifting. I taught a workshop last week about networking and how to network. And there's a principle called the Dunbar Principle. And the Dunbar Principle states that throughout the course of your life, you will have strong relationships with roughly 150 people. So you got 5 close friends and you have 15 friends and associates, and the circle goes on and on. 150. Now that's not to say you're not going to meet other people that you might see. Okay, I recognize this person. The relationship is not going to be strong necessarily. So 150 throughout the course of your life. My question to the women that were in that conference: who are you letting go? If you've only got room for a certain amount of people, and you got to start networking and making this thing work for you, you got to let some people go. You got to find out those relationships that are not working for you, that are not helping to serve you. And it's not all about you, me. It's about what can I do for you that's going to help you, but also who is draining me? Who is that one that's always calling and always talking about what they gonna do and when they gonna do it and all those kinds of things, and they never do anything. But they're always asking you for support. And it's not wrong to support people, but you've got to put yourself higher up on the list of priorities. You have to. So you got to figure out, who am I letting go this year? What relationship is not serving me?
Wow.
Right? So that's an important factor. And it's a hard one, because some people you've been friends with since high school, and we played in the sandbox together. That's my home girl.
Right.
She's not doing nothing. And if you continue to surround yourself with those kind of people, guess what? They're gonna drag you down. And that's what it's gonna be.
Absolutely. And I think a lot of times what we don't understand is that until we get to the place of the shift and we don't stay stuck in fear, one of the things is that we can never get to the next level. That's what I'm hearing from you. Even as we take a step back, when you talked about your other location, it was a little bit of fear of the unknown because you didn't know.
Never been down there before.
Right, you didn't
I was
know.
like, Leonard, who?
Yeah. Yeah, you didn't know what was on the next, what was coming up next, right? But the thing is, you didn't allow that fear to stop you. You didn't allow that fear to say, you know what, I'm not going to just stay in the box. Let's put it like that. Sometimes us as leaders and business owners, we stay in the box. We stay in the box of fear. We stay in the box of, sometimes being too anxious, and saying, you know what, if I do this or if I do that, what are the possibilities? What are the end results? And one of the things, you will never know what's going to be on the other side until you take that step outside of that box with that lid. Sometimes we got to burst through the lid and just go forward. And this is everything that I'm hearing you say. You got to burst the lid and go forward. And then the second part that you was talking about with the 150 people, who are you going to let go?
Oh, somebody had to go.
And I think that's because that's energy you're expending with people, whoever is in the circle. And it's like, okay, if I commit all of my time and put all of my energy in this pocket, a group of people, is it serving me? Is it serving them? Because it's supposed to be mutual.
Yes.
And if it's not mutual, then what are we really doing? And that's what you got to ask yourself. And we're in the second month of the year. Listen, March is right around the corner. I think us as leaders, we got to be very conscious about time, because literally we're about to be in March. That's going to conclude the first quarter of the year. Where are you in your business? And I think, a lot of times when we talk about good morning to the leader in you, we got to always have a fresh perspective on our mind. That's also why this show is called Good Morning to the Leader in You, because we want to provoke you to have fresh perspectives. We want to provoke you to think about things that's outside of the box. Glenna, what would you say to the audience that's watching? What keeps you on that cutting edge? Because I'm hearing from you also got to reinvent yourself. That's what you did during the pandemic.
Yeah.
But what is your thought process around reinventing yourself as an entrepreneur?
Well, the thought process involves, first of all, getting rid of that fear, because you can think about things all day long, lay up in the bed, eyes just wide open, thinking about things you can and cannot do. But then those fears creep in. What if it doesn't work? What if people laugh at me? What if this, what if that? But preparation is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Reading, figuring things out, listening to trends, this whole metaverse thing. I was like, okay, what is that? What's this metaverse thing?
Yeah.
Okay, and how's that going to relate to my business? And is it going to relate to my business? Is there an opportunity there? So you got to be quickly able to filter things out. Okay, that's not going to serve me. That's not going to work. Those types of things. But you really have to definitely kind of keep an eye on stuff, not be in a bubble, right? I'm guilty of being on the grams and the social media, but that's because I'm looking at how other people do things. What ideas can I draw from other people's experiences, but also what are these, I follow a lot of different things that are like trend watchers and things in my own industry that I look at on a continual basis. And that's how I make my decision. And that's the process of, that it's always a seed being planted. Right. And I know as entrepreneurs, a lot of ideas come into your head, but you've got to be able to filter through to say, does this make sense? Because there's a lot of good ideas out there. And maybe it's an idea you can pass on to someone else. Say, here's something you can do, right? Rather than I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that and I'm going to do the other thing. It's about niching down, finding your tribe or your customers or your group and just honing in on that group of people and really making that a opportunity for yourself.
I think you said something so profound, understanding what your niche is.
Yes.
Because a lot of times we can be all over the place. You know how, I know we all love buffets. I know things shifted because of COVID, but you go into a buffet, it's all this food in front of you.
Right.
Right. And it's on a day where you're fully hungry. I mean, you're hungry. You're going to try to taste a little bit of everything. And sometimes that's what entrepreneurs do. We try to put everything on the plate. And sometimes we don't have a strategic outline for a timeline as to when we should execute whichever part of the business. Right. So you got to have a timeline and know in this part of the year, this is the piece of the puzzle that I'm going to execute on my business model. Sometimes every piece of your business is not the right time or the season to execute, but you got to know what your niche is. And when you're very clear about what your niche is, clarity is there. Leroy, what would you say about that? Because you wrote a book about leadership. I'm going to hold this book up real quick, y'all. You wrote a book about leadership. It's right here, y'all. Nice. You wrote a book about leadership. What is your thought process about understanding your niche as a business owner? How is that specific to us as growing as leaders?
Well, I think as leaders, and I have an acronym for leader. It goes to what she was saying about the L stands for learn. Are you listening and are you learning? What are you listening for? What are you learning so that you can understand, hey, if I do have multiple products, multiple services that I offer, and I think that is so key for entrepreneurs because I always call it everything is in a cycle. And if you leverage your business when you have a couple of products and services that you can offer, because if one is down, the other one can be up. If the other one's up, the other one can be down. And so you have to know your season. You got to know what is actually flowing or what is going on. And if you're not listening and if you're not learning, then you won't be able to understand what's going on. You aren't growing. You aren't able to understand where you need to be.
Yeah.
As an entrepreneur, hey, I need to, at this particular time, I need to be doing these particular things because I know these particular products are going to be working, at this time, like you talking about, you knew that, hey, it wasn't just going to be about those particular.
I knew that. I didn't know what it was going to look like, but I knew that I wanted to have this sense of community and I allowed it to evolve by making certain things available. But I'm going to go back to Catherine's example of the buffet. Now, when I go to a buffet, lots of stuff looks good or whatever. You take a little bit. A little bit, just looks interesting. So I think that's an analogy that you can draw with the things that you do in a business. Take a little bit, put your toe in a little bit, see if it makes sense, see if it works, but be ready to discard it. You taste that, no, I'm not eating that. Because you only have so much calories and so much room. So you want to focus on the good stuff. You want to focus on the good stuff. So test it a little bit, it's okay. And then see, but I think what I've experienced sometimes with some entrepreneurs is you get this idea, and you're not willing to let that idea go when it's a bad. It's okay. People change their minds all the time. And it's okay. Maybe this thing is leading you to something else, but if you don't let go of that, you'll never get to the something else. So you got to be willing, just like at the buffet, you take, give it a little bit of time, but you say, that doesn't taste good to me. I don't like that. So you push it to the side, you go on to the next item. And then before you know it, you got this plate of things that are amazing. And you can enjoy and appreciate, and it can help you grow and evolve.
And I want to piggyback off of that. Don't be afraid, like you said, don't be afraid to leap.
Yes.
Don't be afraid to leap. Yeah. And then also, here's the thing, don't be afraid to fail. Right. And say, it didn't work. That's okay. Failure is a part of the process.
Oh my gosh.
It is a part of the process.
Come on, that's yeah, it is a part of the process. And if you embrace it, you're like, okay.
That was something that I know.
Right. Not to and be mindful of how much you want to invest into that. Right. Don't just willy-nilly throw a ton of money at it and those types of things. But be prepared, as you said. You get that leader in you thinking and try it out in a small way.
Yeah, because I'm just that you can't be afraid to fail. And y'all got me thinking when you were talking about the belly dance and everything like that. I don't know why stuck in my head right now, and I love her is the artist Lettuce. She has a song called I Blame You. I love the song, but it was about the young lady. She's at the office and they ask her that she's just this kind of, timid or whatever, conservative dress. And then she somehow gets involved. She gets asked to do a class. And when she
and even that example that I gave, at that time I was like I said, looking for another fitness routine, and I had decided, y'all ready for that? I was gonna take tap dance. I'm okay. I want to do something different.
Put your toe in it.
Yeah, but it was gonna do something. I told my girlfriend, she's like, no, you're not doing that. No, you're gonna come to belly dance class with me. I was like, oh no, I'm not. Because the first thing in my mind is big girls don't do that. Big girls don't belly dance, because that's what society tells us. But if you go to other countries where it originates, Africa, they want to call it Egypt, but it's Africa, and where it originated. It's a different experience, because over there, young women are really not even allowed to belly dance, because belly dance is about telling a story. It's about telling a story. And if they say, you ain't got no story yet.
I did not know that.
The older women get up there and get it in it. For weddings and deaths and all kinds of stuff, it's a belly dance routine that they do. And it just evokes all the emotion of the moment and all that. Yeah, absolutely. But I let my fear, but I'll tell you what happened. Several years ago, I was talking to my brother. My father had passed away. I was talking to my brother, and we were talking about Christmas when we were young and stuff. And I was in my 30s at the time. And I said, you know, my dad was an educator, and he always, every Christmas, we would get books and we would get puzzles. And we would do things. I said, you know what? I said to my brother, I said, you know what? All I really wanted was an easy bake oven. He's like, really? I said, yeah, you know, everybody had an easy bake oven. I wanted an easy bake oven. So guess what he gave me for Christmas the following year? He gave me an easy bake oven. And I was in my 30s and I laughed and I cried and I was giddy. His wife was like, it's just an easy bake oven.
Delayed but not denied.
But what that taught me was that was my inner child.
Yeah.
Just gleeful and joyful and giddy. So when the opportunity came to take that belly dance class, and I was like, oh, no, big girls don't do that. I'm not gonna get embarrassed. My inner child was like, yeah, we got to get it in. We got to get it. I love it. Yeah. My inner child didn't care about that because children are like that. Yeah. They don't care about, you know, the thing is torn, the clothes don't match. They don't care about that. They just get out and do it. So that's what made me do it, because I allowed my inner child to say, get out there and do that, girl, don't play. And the rest is history. And it just evolved into what it is today. And so I don't have any regrets over asking for this, not even asking for the easy bake oven, but the easy bake oven, and it's in my store right now. I don't know if you noticed it. But it's in my store on that shelf. And it's in the jewelry case. And anybody asks me, that's the story. That's how it came there.
Now, it's so many pieces out of what you just said. You didn't allow the fear or the opinions of people to stop you from moving forward doing belly dancing, because it's the perception is, and it is out there, that big girls can't do that, but you defy the odds. So us as leaders, what we got to do is defy the odds. I'm glad you're transparent and sharing that, because somebody watching now is watching later that's a leader and like, you know, I don't know if I can do this. Is this socially accepted? Defy the odds, do it anyway. And that's what we're hearing. Glenna, the CEO of Shimmy Sister, located in Columbia, Maryland. If you don't know, drop the information where they can find your location.
You can follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Shimmy Sister, ShimmySista. We're located in Columbia, Maryland on Red Branch Road. So you can Google and you'll find Shimmy Sister. You see some wonderful pictures. You can go to my website, shimmysister.com. You'll see some of the activities that we've done, things coming up. So just please join us, join this community, join this lifestyle community, and just be a part of something major.
Let me tell you something.
Absolutely.
We are all shifting.
Yes.
That's been I think the theme of this whole conversation today is shift. So the question we have for everyone watching now or that's going to watch the replay, what are you about to shift out from? And what are you going to be shifting into? And what odds are you going to defy in society that says you as a leader, you as an entrepreneur, you as an individual cannot do X, Y, Z? What odds will you defy today? And what odds will you defy this week? Leroy?
Wow. I'm gonna say it like this, and I love the word. I love that you use the word shift, because here's what a boss is. You know, you hear people say, "I'm a boss." They really don't understand. A boss is someone who builds, organizes, shifts, and sacrifice. And if you want to use the last F for serve, you can do that too. But mine was sacrifice. The bosses sacrifice, but that S in there is about shifting. It is about understanding who you are as a leader. They're going to come times, situations where you will have to say, you have to adjust the way that you think. And it's not about being in a box. It is the 21st century way of thinking is not being inside of a box, not being confined to a particular box, and understanding, hey, if I got to, make that box bigger, then that's what I do. If I have to make that box a circle, then I do that.
If I have to push people out of my box, I'll do that.
Don't be afraid to push people out of your box.
Because you can't shift. Because you're talking about maybe being fearful of doing something and you're laying there thinking, what if, how about? What the last thing you need is somebody who's a naysayer. Oh, that ain't gonna work. Why would you do that? That doesn't make sense. Did you think about this? What you need to do. How many got a what you need to do are in your life? They quit because what you need to do. So what you need to do is get out of my business. That's what you need to do. So and all of that plays together with the shifting piece. You got to shift people out so you can shift a new idea in. We only have so much capacity, so much time in the day. People ask me all the time, when do you sleep? They ask me that all the time. It's like, I get it in. And and you know, that's one of the things I want to make sure I share with people is, yes, there's a lot of work that needs to be done, but you've got to build in time for yourself and to replenish yourself and to take time. When I first started in Leonardtown, I would be driving down there. It's 2 hours. It's 1 hour and 56 minutes.
Okay.
It's 2 hours. Okay. 2 hours. So I would drive down there and I would replenish the place and I'd sit back down again. I said, you know what, this year I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
So what I do now is I plan to go down there on a day when I don't have much going on the next day, or I can work remotely the next day. So I go down there, I replenish. It's less than a half a mile from the waterfront. I finish replenishing, I go sit by the water. I have a little calming moment. I get myself a nice dinner. I check into my hotel. So I make it an opportunity for me to really shut it down a little bit. I'm still thinking, I'm still processing, but I'm taking out time for myself to not be just rushing and on to the next thing. Because then I sit in my hotel, I work on my laptop, I still get the work done, but I'm in a different environment. And then I can suck up all the hot water.
Catherine, I don't know if we have enough time, because I know we got to get ready to kind of close out and everything. But I want to ask you, how important is it with your business being as an entrepreneur, having your business where it is, to be engaged in the community?
It's absolutely important. It's absolutely important, because if you don't give back, then what is it all for? You know, because we're on this earth to make a difference in our lives and the lives of other people. And giving back, it gives me such joy. Recently, I was asked to be a subject matter expert for the Women's Business Center in Baltimore. And I had gotten out of consulting in the way that I had doing. I do mentoring and things like that. But I agreed to do it, added that to my schedule. But it has given me such joy, because it's those aha moments. It's those, that clarity that comes over someone. It's that confidence boost that you give them, like, you can do this, girl, and let me help you walk through some concepts and ideas. And that's why the store for me was always going to be more than just a place to get some cute clothes. When you walk in my store, if you come in, ladies, I want to see you come in the store, Columbia, 9192 Red Branch Road. When you walk in the store, look to the left. There's a poster that says, and then one day I loved myself and everything changed. I was free. And that is what I want people to get when they come in there, a sense of freedom, that I could do this, I could be this. It's an opportunity. So definitely working in the community, because I've met so many amazing people. I met Catherine through doing giving in the community. I met Barbara, who's with Queens Meet. I met Laura, who's with this amazing organization that's going to be a incubator space for entrepreneurs. I mean, you got to get back to get. You got to get back together. When you put it out to the universe, I believe that it gets drawn back to you, because that's how, by giving, you get. By giving, you get. So community activism and community participation is key, is critical. And you have a good time. Right. You have fun. So what can beat that, right?
And that's how you build. and that is how you build. Listen, we heard from the queen herself this morning, Glenna, CEO of Shimmy Sister, right here in Columbia, Maryland. You got to go check it out. Our co-host, I keep leaving that off, Dr. Leroy McKenzie. Want to flash the book one more time? You definitely got to check it out. It is The Art of Leadership. And our whole segment every Tuesday morning is all talking about leadership, how we can sharpen each other, how we can help each other to grow to the next level. And just off of what Ms. Glenna just said, community is everything when you're building your leadership capacity. It's everything when you're building your business. You can't build without community, right? So share this. Once we finish this, share this link. If somebody you think need to see this video, share the link. Share. I just want to do a quick plug on my book, 8 Steps. This book was published back in 2014 to help other individuals that want to build and that want to grow, but sometimes you need that strategic map. So the 8 steps take you from concept to actually implementation. Send me an email if you need any help around strategic planning and organizational development, CT@CatherineTrotter.com. And my website is simply my first and last name, CatherineTrotter.com. Leroy, plug your information, and then Glenna, plug yours as well.
Yeah, just to close out, you can catch me on my website, www.jnfenterprises.com. I'm also on Facebook, JNF Enterprises, Instagram, What's Up Baltimore Magazine, and then also YouTube, JNF Enterprises. Make sure you give your YouTube channel too. And then Twitter, at JNF Enterprises. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, at JNF Enterprises 1 as well. So check us out. We're there.
We'll see you there. So I, again, am Glenna Cush, Boutique by Shimmy Sister, SHIMMYSISTA, at Shimmy Sister on Instagram, Facebook, and on YouTube. And also, I'd like to invite you, I'm doing a women's meet and greet the 26th of this month. So you can go to Eventbrite and just look up Shimmy Sister. It is an event where I'm going to share resources. I have some guest speakers coming in, so you can learn about resources for entrepreneurism for women. So we've got speakers coming in to talk about different things that you can do to grow your business. We have networking opportunities. You'll meet some wonderful people there. We have some vendors set up so you can see other people's work. So just be able to participate, be ready to be part of the community and join something. It's a free event, so just go on to Eventbrite and look up Shimmy Sister and you'll be able to register.
Shimmy Sister.
Yeah,
Shimmy
it
for me
is.
one time.
What?
You gonna
What?
shimmy with me, Leroy? Shimmy with me, Leroy. Come on.
I always think about Living Single. He played the Jamaican guy on there, but he always
yeah.
tell Nation, shimmy.
That's right, shimmy it up.
Oh my gosh, we had so much fun today. And
Absolutely.
for everybody that watched, thank you for tuning in. Share the video, and we're going to see everybody at the top.
Thank you so much. Peace out.